What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. In my last video, you saw where I scored a 46 RH out of a 91 Ramcharger. I got it home from the pic-a-part, got it cleaned up, and I got it stuck between the frame rails of the D100. I mounted it to the engine, and I got the crossmember location figured out. So this last week, I spent some time taking care of just some odds and ends. You know, I got the valve body cleaned up and got it back inside the transmission. I got all the mounting bolts torqued down. I got all the cables and coolant lines and all that stuff reconnected, and I got a new pan and got that installed. It wasn't really anything that I felt really worth showing. It was all just, you know, reassembly. What I did want to focus in on was how to get my overdrive working as it did in the donor vehicle. So there are a couple ways you can do this. First, you know, you could just simply run 12 volts to the solenoid, have a switch, and then, you know, as you want your overdrive to kick on, you turn on the switch and that'll turn on your overdrive. And you can do the same for lockup if your transmission has lockup. You just have to have another switch for it. And that would work. The only problem is, you know, you got to remember to turn it off when you're getting off a highway, or if you need to pass somebody and you want to drop the gear, you got to remember to turn the switches off. And that's just a hassle. I wanted mine to work as it did in the donor vehicle. So I went to Performance Automotive Transmission Center, PATC, and I picked up one of their kits. So what the kit comes with, and you can select what speeds, but it comes with two of these pressure, see if I can get that to focus, two of these pressure switches. Basically, this will connect on one of the ports on the right side of the transmission. I'll put a picture up here somewhere showing where this connects on a 727. And what's nice with these is you can kind of select at what speed you want your overdrive and lockup to kick in on. Basically, it's 1 PSI is 1 mile an hour. So I picked up a 50 PSI switch. Now, since I don't have lockup, the kit really comes with two of these. So I set both of mine to 50 PSI. So now I have a spare if I want it. I could have, and now that I think about it, I maybe should have set the other one to a different PSI. That way I could play with it and have it kick in different. But I think 50 miles an hour will be plenty for this truck, especially for the way I plan on using this truck. So it comes with two of these switches. It also comes with a Shift Technologies switch that basically runs. This is it here. I'm working on a mounting for the bulkhead, but it takes, you know, the voltage in. It's normally closed or normally open depending on how you want to use it, and it takes manifold pressure. And what that'll do is basically when you hit 50 miles an hour in my case, this switch will close. With the manifold pressure, this switch will provide 12 volts to the solenoid and my overdrive will kick on. When you need to downshift basically and you floor it and manifold pressure changes, it'll turn this switch off, thereby killing the 12 volts to the solenoid and allowing the truck to basically go into like a 3 low instead of a 3 high when it's in overdrive. And it, you know, comes with all the little fittings and stuff. So their website has a really good explanation. It has a good diagram. I'll put this picture up in the video here to show how to connect everything. So what I wanted to do was basically built a harness. So what I did was, so this is the end that goes to the solenoid on the transmission. This connector will go to the switch on the side of the transmission. And the other end here will come up and go to this switch, which will be on my firewall right behind the engine, so that this manifold line will be kind of short, kind of tucked away and hidden. One thing I did do, and I felt this is really important, when I tore this transmission out of the Ramcharger, I got to thinking that I wonder if the person that got rid of that truck got rid of it because they were having transmission problems. So the wires that were going to this connector when I tore the transmission apart was just, they were gone. All the insulation was gone off of them, and it was just bare conductor hitting the transmission, hitting each other. So it kind of makes me wonder if they had issues. So what I did was, when I built my harness here, I actually picked up some of this high temp wire loom. I got it from Dell City. I'll leave a link in the description below. I'll also leave a link to the PATC website where I got this whole kit. But I really wanted my wires, since it's going to be, you know, sitting on top of the transmission and then running up probably the passenger side where I have my fuel lines. It's going to be real close to the exhaust. So I wrapped them in some high temp wire loom. Pretty straightforward. So let me see if I can get up underneath the truck, and I'll show you exactly how this stuff is going to get installed. All right, so I'm not really sure how well this is going to show up, but I'll try to get you guys a good look down here. So right here is that electrical connection for the solenoid. Let's see if I can get a good angle on that. I'll try to zoom in on it while I'm editing, but there it is right there. So that harness that I built now goes right there, up and over the transmission. And then there's that 50 PSI pressure switch that's coming off the side of the transmission. This is on the passenger side. I'll put a picture up as far as where this port actually is. It's kind of hard to get a good tell from underneath the truck. There it is. And then the harness kind of comes over right here. And I have it go to where I run my fuel line. See if I can get a better angle. There we go. So it comes across right here where I join up with the fuel line and the wiring for my fuel pump, and then that runs up into the engine bay. And then up here in the engine bay, I'm not really sure how well this is going to show up, but that orange wire right there is what goes down to the transmission. And then that red wire there with the fuse on it, see if I can, right there, that runs up to one of my, to the fuse, to the termination block I have over here that's connected to switched power. And then the switch will mount somewhere up in here, and then I'll run a vacuum line down to the carburetor to manifold pressure. So there you have it. That's all you really need to get your 46RH to work without any kind of ECU, PCM, transmission control, or anything like that. Now, once, you know, I'm out driving around, the truck is running, that solenoid will have 12 volts sitting there. And then once I hit 50 miles an hour or so, that pressure switch on the side of the transmission will close, thereby completing the circuit and turning on the overdrive. And then the manifold pressure going to the switch on the firewall, when I need to, when I, you know, on the freeway need to pass somebody and I give it more gas, the manifold pressure will change, thereby disengaging that switch, turning off the 12 volts going to the solenoid, and allowing me to go from basically a 3 high to a 3 low, and giving me that extra RPM I need to pass somebody. Really pretty simple. So, like I said, this thing is pretty much a drop-in for my 904. 904, 727, whichever. This thing bolted right in place. It's made for a small block Mopar. Pretty easy swap. Definitely worth the time and effort to do this. So, hopefully, next video, I'll be able to take it out for a drive. I'm waiting on my drive shaft. That's out getting shortened right now. And I still have a few more things to do. I need to clean up the inspection cover that goes on the bottom of the transmission. That needs to get cleaned up. I need to clean up the dipstick and get that installed. Obviously add fluid. And just some minor bits and pieces are left to do. So hopefully next video I'll be able to get this thing out and we'll see how it does. So thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe, hit the bell, leave a comment. Let me know, if you like these kind of tech videos or explanations or whatever. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.